All right, so Kathy Engelbert, as far as I'm concerned, she needs to either learn how to address issues or she needs to be replaced. And one of the things that I want to say here is the fact that the WNBA is cleaning up as well. Right now, at this point, about 50% of the coaches of the WNBA have been fired. 50%. All right. So now I'm saying, the same way the Fever cleaned up, they couldn't keep treating us like a welfare league or like, oh, it's a tax write-off. No, they had to get serious about it because they've got, first of all, a lot of people are paying attention now. Now it's a situation where they see they can make a lot of money off of it. So they had to come in and clean house. And they started from the top down. They cleaned out the COO, the GM, and the coach. All cleaned out. Now we're ready to get over here to the league. Is the league going to clean up? And as I've told you, more than 50% of the coaches in the NBA have been fired. More than 50% right now as we stand here today. Now it's going to get to the point where whomever the owners are, they got to decide, do they want to keep rolling with this Kathy Engelbert as commissioner when it's clear who she is? It's clear that she's biased. It's clear that these refs are working for her and that they are under an agenda. Do the owners want to keep rolling with that? Because, really, okay, let me say this to you. I told you guys, whenever there is a certificate created on a business, that it's like a birth certificate, and that birth certificate has an estate. And I also mentioned to you that the WNBA is traded on the stock market, but I need y'all to understand something. It's not traded under the WNBA. They want you to think that the WNBA is a private team or privately owned. No, it's traded on the stock market, but it's traded under a different organization. I think the Wall Street Group or something like that. So they're traded under a different brand. And if you don't know what to look for, you won't know. I was looking up the ticker for the WNBA on the stock exchange, but they don't trade it like that. They call it the Madison Square Garden Group. So Madison Square Garden Group. And if you want to trade on the WNBA, you would do it under that group. But guess what? It's not just the WNBA that's under the Madison Square Garden Group. Let me read off to you some of their holdings under the Madison Square Garden. They've got New York Knicks. They've got the NBA. They got the New York Rangers. They got the American Hockey League. They got the WNBA. They got the New York Liberty. They got the National Hockey League. So there's the American Hockey League and the National Hockey League. They got the NBA G League. They've got the NBA 2K League. They got the MS Sports segment, which includes Counter Logic Gaming. They got a whole bunch of stuff under there. So you want to bet on the WNBA? You need to get with the Madison Square Garden Company. And you can gamble on the WNBA. Why would you want to do that? Well, because they're going to make a lot of money. And they're going to do it by cleaning house. They weren't paying any attention to it. Just like whoever the owner was of the Fever. Oh, it's just a tax write-off. Y'all girls go over there and play with it and, But now it's getting serious. And they've got to put, just like the Fever, they got to put some energy into it and take it seriously and put some people in place who are going to really run it like it needs to be run. And I'm saying to you right now, that this league has to be cleaned up because these people want to make money. And I'm letting you know next year is going to be a cleanup. Just like the Fever are cleaning up, all these other teams are cleaning up. They're firing. More than 50% of the teams have fired their head coach. And some of them have cleaned out the GM and the COO too. And so at this point, we know that Kathy Engelbert is a problem. Kathy Engelbert is a problem. She's got to go. Or somebody need to put a foot down on her and let her know that you got to clean up these referees. You've got to make it mandatory that they hire better coaching. You've got to make it mandatory that these people, these players, these women learn how to shoot. I hope she makes it mandatory that if you got a Y chromosome, you can't play in the WNBA. If you got a Y chromosome, go over there and play with the other papas. This league is for women, not for Y chromosomes. So you got a Y chromosome, I don't care what you identify as, you shouldn't be playing in the league. I'm not going to call no names, but he know who I'm talking about, Papa. Go over there and play with the other papas. So there needs to be some serious reform because they want to make money. They are trading on the stock market at $125 or $120 right now a share as of now. $120 a share. And I'm saying to you, find a ticker. The Madison Square Garden, they're going to make some money this year. You want to invest? I'm telling you what the future is going to be. The minute, and I see this coming, the minute they fired Kathy Engelbert, and I see this coming. I know a lot of people saying, oh, they not going to fight. That's what they said about Krista Sides. Krista Sides going to be with us next year. Where is she now? She's not going to be here next year. She's fired. I saw that coming. When you people start speaking, when the public starts speaking and your voices are heard, thank goodness for the YouTubers. Thank goodness for everybody else who's putting your voice out. Thank goodness for X. But when your voice is heard, they have to listen because you are the money. You the money. They want you to pay attention. Because when you allow them to entertain you, you are paying attention. And you got to start understanding what your value is. AY has heard you. And they're going to hear you. So let's understand this and let's be clear. It has been heard that, look, people want to watch this basketball now. But they're not going to watch when we see clear cheating on behalf of the officials. They're not going to watch when we see this low quality of play where people can't even make simple layups. There needs to be a mandatory. If your team misses this many shots, y'all need to pay. Because you making us lose money. Because if they can't make a shot, I'm not going to pay attention. So then somebody needs to make them pay for the money that they're going to lose because you can't play. There needs to be a reform. And I'm letting you know right now that I don't see Kathy Engelbert being there next year. I don't see that. Not when they get serious about making this league what it needs to be.